when we're serious and we're trying to get to know you, you will know it. But if you're some woman out there who dates guys, if you notice you're only getting a lot of first or second dates and that's it, I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong. Either one, you're being very weird on the date, or two, you're interviewing the guy. And interviewing a guy means you're trying to determine if he can be your husband on the first date, and that will run men off left and right.
Yeah, so, I like to say, Colin, that if a woman might find someone crazy, she needs to kick off her heels and run for the hills. So maybe that's the male equivalent, isn't it? He's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, because he, even though he wants to get married, you don't know if that's going to be your husband. So don't start trying to ask these filler questions. Don't, we say this in the States, don't jump to Super Bowl. It's just the playoffs. It's just not even preseason, and you're jumping all the way to Super Bowl. A first date is only to determine if there should be a second one. That's it. That's what a first date is for, to determine if there should be a second one.
Oh my God. Okay, so I have to ask you, did the women, when they, as you said, a lot of the time when they read the book, they were sort of really upset and they were thinking, oh my God, I didn't realise. But did they think as well, yes, this is what I thought was the case. I've been through this, or someone else I know has been through this, and it's about time somebody put it out there as well. Did they think that?
Oh gosh, yeah. So the minority of the women who were upset, but the majority of the women were just, some women paid me great compliments that my book is better than some other well-known relationship guys, which is a great compliment. But the biggest compliment was like, oh my God, I can now see what these men are doing, why they're doing it, when they're going to do it, and then what is it about me that attracts them to them? Because it's things that you are doing that makes certain guys come on to you all the time. Because some friends, you got some friends that say, hey, I always get guys that want me to take care of them, or some women get friends that say I get guys that always disappear after a few days. It's not an accident. It's not an accident.
Okay, people, you have heard it here from the man himself, the relationship lifeguard. He is putting it out there on the real. Colin, you don't understand. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, because I hear that. Oh, he just wants me to be his sugar mama, and he just wants me to do this, and he wants me to treat him like a child, and he wants to be my other child, and like they say she's got kids already, he wants to be my next child, and I don't want that, and it's pure drama. I've got to ask you, have you had any really strong negative reactions to the book? Because people might think you're stereotyping with the different labels that you've given for the kind of guys that people should avoid if they want a serious relationship.
The only negative feedback I get is from men. Most women are very appreciative, very happy that this book has been written. The men are the ones that are upset. And, when I'm on radio shows, I tell men, hey, if you're treating a woman right, well, you're not in my book. You don't have to worry about it. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no concern. But there are a lot of men that are still looking to be manipulative and still looking to play games. And it's just to protect women to stay away from the wrong type of men. This is not a male bashing book. There are a lot of great guys out there, but I want to help women to start seeing through different lenses, because right now there are women out there that are listening that date men that if they don't fit a certain type, they don't fit a certain height, or don't fit a certain look. Here's the thing: the more insecure you are about yourself, the more attractive the guy must be.
Oh,
the more insecure.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Please say
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just thinking, because as you just said, the rose tint is spectacles, and like you're just saying, the more insecure a woman is, she's always going to be looking for something. But then she's going to feel, oh, I don't deserve him, so if he treats me like crap, I should keep being with him. So it's like a catch-22, isn't it? It
is a catch-22. So okay, let's do this. Let me go through these men, because I think it will make it a lot easier.
Oh, please. I was just about to ask you, because please do. Please.
Okay. So the first type of man that women should avoid, he's called the total package. Now, the total package represents 90% of the things you're looking for. He has the height you want, the looks you want, the job, the sex. He's as close to Mr. Perfect as you can get. He's the type of guy that you find yourself doing things for him that you normally wouldn't do for other men. He's the type of man that you kind of lose yourself over. If you don't cook for men, you're going to cook for this guy. If you don't find yourself fighting over a guy, you're going to fight for this guy. So he is the type of man that will proclaim that he's going to be in it for the long run, but then he backs away. But one thing I noticed about the total packages I've interviewed, they've been pretty honest about their intentions, but the women are so enamored by them, they think they can change his mind. And that's the mistake. When a man tells you who he is,
believe him. Yeah, believe that. Yeah, absolutely believe that.
The second guy is called the online player. Now, the online player is the type of guy that uses the internet, social media to meet all his women. Because here's the thing, men, ladies, here's another urban myth. Men are not as confident to approach a woman off the street as you may think. There are a lot of men that stare at you at the grocery store, stare at you at the gas station. The reason men do a lot of staring is because every man, I don't care if it's Idris Elba, I don't care if it's Brad Pitt, every man has had a woman at some point of his life cut him down like he's a homeless man on the street. and women, you know what I mean? Because women can be vicious. I mean, I've seen some harsh shutdowns. And so what happens is the online player can approach all these beautiful women without experiencing any of the same rejection. Because if I send you a note and you're not interested, all you do is you just don't reply back. Versus you looking me up and down, tearing me down. So the online player, his story is very interesting because he's going to explain to you how he manipulates these websites, how he uses certain pictures to make himself more attractive. But they're going to explain to you what sites they recommend women should stay away from, because what women don't understand that these dating sites, certain dating sites put men through more parameters to sign up than they do women. Yes. And so that's some of the things I'm going to explain. The third guy's called the baby boy, and he's pretty much a grown man that doesn't want to grow up. He goes after women who generally have low self-esteem. Women who may not be as attractive to what he likes. He looks for women to take care of him financially, emotionally. He's the type of guy who always has dreams of grandeur. He has a hard time keeping a job. He always. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why I'm listening. They're like, oh my god.
So he has a hard time keeping a job. He always is trying to be an artist, a musician, writer, get rich quick schemes. He's usually pretty attractive. His sex is very good. But see, so what baby boys do is that they sign what we like to call an unhealthy contract with women. And here's the unhealthy contract. He basically says, as long as you give me a place to stay, food to eat, a car to drive, I will continue to look good, give you great sex, make you feel good about yourself, and give you something to walk around and show off to your friends. And she says, go ahead.
I just want to say this to you. Have you been seeing some of the people that I have seen in my life and some of the stories I've heard from some of my friends in the past?
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. I told you about it. I don't care where it is in the world, you're going to run into one of these guys.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
No problem. So then she turns around and signs the contract too. She says, okay, I will give you a place to stay, food to eat, car to drive, as long as you make me feel good about myself, give me great sex, and give me something to show off. The problem is, the baby boy never keeps the contract, because if he ever gets on his feet, he's out. He's out. Or if you ever started to realize your confidence level, you're out. So that's how that works. Because usually the baby boy is struggling and the women he goes after are financially secure, but they're not physically what he normally wants to be with. Yes. So the next guy in my book is called the BSer. Now, the BSer, there are two types. There's what we call a vested and an unvested BSer. The vested BSer is where the relationship has more vested into it, meaning you guys may live together, you may have a child together, but you may have been boyfriend and girlfriend for 5-10 years, but he never fully commits to you. It's as if he is still evaluating the relationship. It's like you're never good enough. You're waiting for him to propose. He never does it. You caught him cheating. You assumed he's cheating. And the scary thing about dating this type of guy is he will string you along for years. And then I've had these men turn around and marry the next woman in 6 to 8 months.
I'm sorry. I've seen and heard.
Yeah, I know you have. Then you have the unvested BSer. That's where the relationship's more on and off again situation. You don't see him for holidays. You don't see him for Christmases or vacations. He only comes around for sex. He disappears for days, weeks, months at a time. You can't find him. You email him, you call him. He just disappears. And then next thing you know, he boomerangs back in your life, gives you some BS excuse about what happened. And guess what? He does it all over again.
Oh, my God.
The fifth guy is called the CEO. We talked about him earlier. That is the guy who is physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially abusive. He targets women with low self-esteem. He targets women that have abandonment issues. Usually he targets women that have issues, especially with their father. So if you're a woman that is strong and independent, he's not going to be attractive to you, nor are you going to be attractive to him. He leads with what he can do for you. He leads with his money, his finances, his influence. He moves very quickly. Don't get enamored by his ability and his willingness to be in a committed relationship, because as fast as a man comes is as fast as he leaves. So be very very wary of this guy. The last guy is called the chameleon. The chameleon is the type of man who can adapt his views, his personality to fit any woman he's dating. So if you like cats, he likes cats. If you don't drink, he doesn't drink. If you love vacation, he loves vacation. So he will be pretty much your total package or your perfect guy just for sex. He's only in it for sex, and he's in it for sex quickly. But the thing with the chameleon is he's not going to stay around long. So if you can withstand and not get caught up in the fairy tale, then he just like a real chameleon, he can't hold his color for so long. So those are the 6 men women should avoid.
Oh my God, people, you just had it put down to you. That's it, and it's a wrap on that. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I was sitting there because I have heard stories about each of those types of men, and I have to say to you, now, I'm sure about this. A lot of people might think the name tags that you've given to the guys and the scenarios that you've just depicted quite clearly, and obviously in your book, could sound quite far-fetched. But did you do like a focus workshop or something like that to be able to choose those names?
It started evolving organically. I mean, as I started meeting with each one of these guys, and like the total package guy. See, here's the thing: what's your total package could be different than what your friend's total package. Like your total package could be a guy, 6 foot, working Fortune 500 company. Her total package could be a guy who's rugged, who works construction. I mean, it varies from person to person. So, but to answer your question, as I interviewed so many men, it started to organically form. The CEO, guy who wants to control everything. The chameleon who wants to change his spots. The BSer. I mean, the baby boy. It just started to form in itself. So, yeah.
But a leopard never changes their spots, though.
Well, here's the thing. These men will change, when they're ready and for the right woman. They will change, because some of the men in my book, who I interviewed, they have gone on to get married and be in relationships. Because again, remember, we know what to do. We just choose who we want to treat right, who we want to treat wrong.
I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. So basically, as you said quite emphatically, those 6 types of men that you have just identified, they are the ones that women should avoid dating.
Absolutely.
A healthy, sustainable relationship that leads to marriage. Now, the reason I'm making that point is because I want to ask you, what happens, right, if someone isn't looking for marriage as the ultimate relationship goal? And because I mean, it's hard enough getting a relationship that you're happy in, that works. So why rush to the finish line of marriage?
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to be married. I mean, some of the people who I've interviewed or counseled just want to be in a loving and committed relationship. They don't want to be married. They don't want to go down the aisle, which is fine. So you can still find a great man that has the same like-minded thinking, but just don't waste your time. He's gonna show you what he's all about. Listen to his actions. Don't ignore them. Here's the thing. Here's one more thing. A man would not tolerate 10% of the crap we put y'all through. We wouldn't tolerate it. You know why we're not going to tolerate it? Because we know we can do better and we deserve better. And so do you, because most women who are dealing with crappy relationships wouldn't deal with the job disrespecting them. And the reason they wouldn't deal with the disrespectful job is because they're confident in their abilities to find a job that would treat them the way they deserve. I just need you to understand you have the same ability in your personal life.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry, I was jumping up and down when you were mentioning and identifying the 6 types of men, because I have to say this again, and I know there's women out there who have come across these types of men, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, especially like, the online player